Johnny's Claypot Rice. Nestled into the outskirts of Chinatown in one of the handful of park-to-shop Asian grocery stores throughout the city. A canteen of sorts for customers of the store and neighbors to one of the best Chinese bakeries here in Chicago. A place that if you're not a regular customer to Park-to-Shop or have a knowledge and appreciation for Claypot Rice, you'd probably pass by with interest but never take the time to sit down. But that's why I'm here, urging you to do so. Claypot Rice is a Chinese classic among so many of the diaspora and the East Asian dining scene at large. So many variations, so many choices. But Johnny's does a damn fine job of making your belly and heart satiated with the classic Chinese Claypot Rice.
Hey everybody, long time no see. This is Mike. We're here at Johnny's Claypot Rice. Actually a place that I haven't gotten to eat at, so this is my first time being here, but Claypot Rice inside a grocery store that also has a bakery in it is going to be good, you know. So today we got some Claypot Rice. Claypot rice, or napo gai fan, is a big thing throughout all of the Chinese diaspora, and it's something that is one of the first dishes I always get when I stop off and visit my family in Malaysia. And it's just warm. It's in a nice warm pot, and especially now that it's getting a little chilly again in Chicago, it's nice to warm your hands up on the side of the bowl. I'm sure the owners don't want you touching the bottom because it's ripping hot. They cook the clay pot to order. As you can see, you can get a variety of different dishes. You got your char siu, you got roasted duck, some batsam gai with poached white chicken if you would like that too. They also do a variety with salted fish, and they also have all these side dishes. You can also get roasted pork, which would be suyok, which is delicious roasted pork belly. They puff the skin on it, so you get that crunch from the skin and the nice fattiness inside that just kind of renders out as they barbecue the roast pork. And the staff was so nice to give us these little cups of lotus and peanut soup, something that is ubiquitous with getting a full meal in a lot of Chinese restaurants. It's warming. The texture of the lotus is nice stewed, so it has a little crunch, but it's not crunchy. And then you get these nice soft peanuts in there too. So very wholesome and loving. And this having all its different salty ingredients and the rice being cooked to order. All the salty ingredients kind of cook into the rice, like the cheong, which is a preserved Chinese sausage. And I also got the preserved bacon as well. So you're getting all these different preserved things, and I added on char siu. Why did I add on char siu? Because it's great. Who doesn't love barbecued pork? This is a very porky version, and that's kind of why I got it. I'm starving. I worked last night. I got out at 1 o'clock in the morning, and now it's 10. I didn't really go to sleep till 3 because I was all amped up from a giant service where we did 220 covers and had 3 new menu items on, and now I get to actually relax and eat some food with the nice friendly people who are filming. Claypot rice to me is just special because you get all the flavors you want on top of it, and it's freshly steamed rice. Sometimes you get a little crunchy bits at the bottom, which is extra special. All the seasoned ingredients on top just kind of aerate through the rice, and you get the flavor of these delicious bits of meat along with the rice to just fill you up and make you feel happy. If you're unfamiliar with char siu, there's a bunch of different varieties, and different cultures make it a different way, but Chinese generally cut it into strips and barbecue it, either in this big giant barbecue pot, or in various other ways when that's not accessible or you're not able to do that in whatever situation you're in. Generally it's made out of pork belly, but you can also get pork shoulder as well. The one that they have on this clay pot is definitely from pork shoulder. It's a little leaner, but there's an no way is dry, and you get that nice candied coated outside. There's just the sweetness kind of cooks through the entire meat, so you get a fully seasoned, delicious piece of barbecued pork. You have this salted, cured Chinese bacon. Fatty, just a little bit of chew, and a delicious few layers of fat, which in moderation, I mean, I don't really care for moderation sometimes with pork belly, but with moderation, it actually just makes this dish so great to have like these little chunks of melting fat in this preserved bacon. The lapchang itself, it's like Chinese sausage that's cooked with Shaoxing wine, a lot of sugar. It's cured, smoked. I always say if you haven't tried this, because I know it's something that is so many of the things that I eat on the show are so familiar to me, but I know they might not be familiar to you. And if they are familiar to you and I'm screwing it up,
We'll try this.
let me know. Lapchang is one of my favorite things. It's sweet, it's savory, it has a nice chew to it. Definitely great marbling of fat in the sausage, and it really makes a whole dish delicious, whether you're stir frying it with noodles, stir frying it with rice or in fried rice, or just slicing it and eating it as is, which I do a lot too. I'll buy a packet of it, then you're supposed to boil it a little bit and then slice it and stir fry it, and sometimes I just eat slices of lapchang at home, and probably not great for my salt intake, but if you worry about salt intake with food, think about that DiGiorno pizza you ate. And if you're like, oh, well, this food is too salty, or I don't like going out to eat, while you're eating the same shit at home, you might as well eat it hot and delicious from people who have been doing it for a long time. The little kitchen behind me is great. They're cooking all your Claypot rice to order. You can see the steam coming up from this side. You can see the siulap from this side. It's like going to a cart in Malaysia and China in Southeast Asia, and there's something so charming about being able to sit down and get that experience here. And afterwards, you can go buy a bag of chips, you can go get some pastries, and I haven't really been eating too much of this in front of you, but I would like to point out the delicious bits of crispy on the bottom. Not too charred, just a little crispiness. Really, the rice is perfectly cooked, which not an impossible thing to do in a clay pot, but it is something that you can very often get wrong, where if somebody's rushing to make the clay pot, the rice isn't cooked through, or maybe it's a little soft, but this rice in particular is perfectly fluffy, perfectly tender, and really does just carry all of the different flavors of the proteins on top. Here we have this lotus tea soup. Oh, and pork bone. I didn't even see that. So, pork bone broth with some lotus and peanuts in there, along with some cooling tea that I always get. It's herbal. It's supposed to cool your body down if you're heaty, and if you're a cook and you work nights and you eat a lot of fried food like I do, it's good for you. It'll help you from getting canker sores and blisters and, zits and things like that. In all honesty, I haven't had this. I really only get this dish in Malaysia. Digging into this again just makes me so very happy. I think everybody should come and try this at least once. If you live in Chicago, it's tucked away in the corner of a grocery store. Really immerse yourself in a different culture if it's not yours, and if it is yours, just come and get some stuff. You got to get your vittles.
It's also like $10.
Yeah, it's also like $10. It's great. This is $10, and that's including the extra char siu that I put on there. Jonny's Claypot on Canal Street in Chinatown in Chicago. Highly recommend you come and get it. Don't be fooled by the fact that you see just white rice under all this protein. The protein seasons the rice seasons the protein, fills you up, has an amazing texture, composition of fatty, porky, lean, and there are different varieties. almost endless possibilities. And you can have a really enjoyable meal in the afternoon after a long day, and maybe it's your Saturday, maybe it's your Sunday. This is my Saturday that is a Sunday, and I get to spend it enjoying this food.